Hi, guys. It's Dr. Liz here. How are you doing? And welcome. Welcome to Conquering the Chaos. What's that mean? Okay. Well, inside this program, this mini class, I have mapped out three of the most common mistakes that couples make that have them ended up having unproductive fighting and missing the mark because most of us want calm, right? We want calm and we want connection. So if you're ready to end the endless drama, trauma of fighting without solutions, you're in the right spot. And so I want to take a moment to, well, first of all, thank you, and just let you know that we all come into our marriages or our relationships with some pretty specific fighting patterns, and we get caught up in some not so pretty, hairy, scary arguments that leave us feeling confused. At least that's me and some of my clients, confused, sad, feeling like we're unheard. Um, Maybe even wondering if the us is worth the effort or if we've made a mistake, right? So, but I want to step in here and tell you that by the time you finish this mini class, you will be able to spot, identify, and interrupt your relationship's personal fighting style even better. Okay. And you're going to know how to not only identify and interrupt, but you're going to have to replace this conflict style with easy, solid, very, very simple communication. And I've included examples from real life couples for you as well. So there's no more walking on eggshell moments for you. Just sit back, relax, no misses, no misunderstandings. The key is here also that you do not need to wait for them. Start on your own. It's absolutely perfectly wonderful and okay and effective. Maybe it's even better if you start on your own and then you can invite them along as they start to see some of the changes in the relationship. Or you watch it, you work on it, and then you give them the materials to look at. But the key here is please don't wait. No more anxious pits in the stomach, not dread, you know. We know that something needs to be discussed, right? You don't have to wait for them. You don't have to wait for them to have some kind of interest. You just get to jump in and go for it. So, what is this? What is this? What are the three very, very common mistakes that many couples make in their relationships, in their marriages? Okay, well, here they are. Um, they assume the worst. We assume the worst. Another one is shutting down and holding on. And the third one is making them guess. I kind of group these under like unproductive games and old conflict styles that we might have when we step into it. And so, really, what it is assuming the worst. When something happens, we in our head jump to thinking, aha, they meant to do that, or this is never going to work out, or I can't seem to get through to them, or whatever it might be. We immediately and consistently jump to the worst case scenario. Shutting down and holding on means that we shut down emotionally. We're flooded. I don't know if we're talking about, they may be the one that's flooded, but we're flooded until we kind of circle the wagons and hang on to our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. We stop reaching out. We stop giving them hints. We stop interacting. And what's that lead us to? Now they have to guess. They know something's wrong. They don't know what, but they do know something's wrong. Or they've learned to just like ignore it. I'm just going to, this is status quo, and that's just the way you are. Right? That's just the way you always are. So we're going to take these three mistakes, and I'm going to kind of layer them into an example with one of my clients. So a real life example, you can see how they showed up and a little bit how we switch that around. And then I want you to be working and going through the training handbook and really work through it. Read the things, identify personal examples, do the exercises. This is self-paced and it's designed for you with your busy schedule. But it's based on real life couples and real life experience. I mean, I have been in the clinical world for, I think about 35 years. at this point in time and been married. 32 going on with my nice hubby and 2 kids and multiple critters. And this stuff happens in all couples, even the most successful, especially the most successful, know to expect that this is going to happen, but they've learned how to grab their tools in their toolbox and use it in their relationship. And I'm all about empowering you and empowering your relationship so that you can start now and get things back on track. So it was Janice and David. Janice and David, they both had these conflicts house, but we're going to focus on what Janice did that kept David out in the dark. So you can kind of see how this. So Janice and David had been married for a couple years, and then they were able to welcome into their world a very, very sweet baby. Things were all on track as far as what they wanted to be doing. Janice had stepped out of the work world at this particular point in time. She was still on maternity leave, and they were definitely considering leaving her at the stay-at-home, at least until their daughter got a little bit older, right? So they're in there, trucking along, having a great time. Well, you know, maybe you know what it's like to be having a newborn infant. And Janice had started to assume the worst. Apparently, somewhere in these first few weeks or so of having a baby, she had requested, mentioned to David that she wanted to get their separate checking accounts all into one joint account so that all of the funds would flow into one spot. Now, prior to this, they both had been working and they both had separate checking accounts that fed into wherever the bills needed to do. One needed, hey, the mortgage is this much, and someone would shove it over to whoever was responsible for paying the bills. And that had shifted over the years that their marriage had. So this was a new request. She wanted a separate family joint account, checking account. And she made the request, and that was it. And David said, sure, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, I'll get to it. And he did. And then when he did, he found out that the bank needed specific information. So by that time, Janice had moved into what? She had shut down, right? She made the request. Now she was assuming something about him. They didn't jump right to it. And then when he came to her, she said, hey, sweetie, I'm called the bank and I can't do anything about like adding my check into it. I got to get some more information from you. And so she just shut down, held on, said, well, you just need to handle it yourself because I've given you all the information you need. And he tried another time or so with bank and then said, in his mind, I'll get to it. I've got all these other things. I'm the sole breadwinner. I'm, got the baby and stuff like that. And so it moved further away. But the climate at the house was pretty rough. Let's just say that. He would come home. She would be, she was holding on to something. He didn't know. So he said, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You want to sleep? You need some rest? I'll take the baby. Let's see. What didn't I do right? Kind of thing. He kept asking. He said, yeah, nothing. It's nothing. Obviously, you're busy with whatever, with work or whatever. So he started thinking, okay, well, maybe it's I'm spending too much time at work. So he would try to do a little bit of work on the weekend so then he could be home earlier. That didn't work. He tried lots of things. Okay. And finally, he just sort of gave up because he couldn't figure out the puzzle that Janice was having to make him guess. And that's where they came to me in my coaching program. And so we just, in one very simple session, we identified how Janice was assuming the worst, shutting down and holding on to that information, to that emotion, and making David guess. And he had flunked, because most of us do. We tend not to be that great of mind readers. The romance books do, even the sometimes the Disney character kind of books. Have us being great guessers, but mind readers, but we aren't. So in that thing, we quickly identified what the three things were that Janice was doing. And then we asked her, hey, help us out. Help us out. Tell us more about the bank account. Well, it wasn't anything about what David thought. He thought it was all about budgeting and getting everything together in one spot, and that she didn't have income coming in, so it would make it easier, just family budgeting thing. Not at all. What it was underlining that is that when Janice clicked and they had the baby, she said, we got to get serious. This is all in her head, guys. She didn't share any of it. We got to get serious. We got to be adults. We have a little one to take care of. We need to be good parents. And in my mind, good parents have one checking account that everybody accesses to take care of their child. So all of these things were coming out. All these emotions, all these thoughts were coming out. And she hadn't shared them to him in a way at all, actually, so that he could hear and learn and agree. And in that moment, when she opened up and assumed that he wanted to listen and then shared instead of held on, there was this aha moment, this epiphany. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I am so sorry. I didn't know that's what you wanted. Nice repair. David was doing a nice repair. He goes, I will take care of it right now. As soon as we finish with Liz, I will go take care of it. Okay. So he gave her immediacy. And then he said, but I need some more information because I seriously can't get through to the bank. I need that number that they said they gave you, or some kind of a code or something like that. I need that so they can line up the right account. Right? So he made a request. And Janice said, okay, I can give you that. I have it. All this time. She had the key, but she was holding on and she was making him guess. And he got tired and frustrated and he stepped away and he stopped doing it. He got busy with life. He got busy with what he thought was a priority. And for his was priority is making sure there's money in his income, because his mind, as the husband, as the father of the new child, he needed to be a good breadwinner. So both of them were on the same track as far as having this child come into their life, had switched the game up, and they couldn't just play or take, take things for granted or risk. Okay, they couldn't risk. They needed to be supportive and protective and well planned for the daughter. For Janice, it was around finances and putting everything in the bank account. For David, it was around making sure he overproduced, had showed up at work as well as at home, so he could be a good father. Okay. So I hope that us walking through Janice and David is helpful for you, and to show that how easily and how quickly these three common mistakes show up in couples' life, and how effectively in just one session, guys, one session, we're sitting down and we're talking. Boom, identified the mistakes that are happening, identified and got curious about what was really underlying that. When is a bank account not just a bank account? Okay. And when is, being busy at work or trying enough not good enough? And they got it, they fixed it, and they were able to move on to the next thing that's going to come up. And I can guarantee you that these fixes that I'm showing you are transferable to other situations. Maybe you guys aren't fighting about because you just have a new baby and there's a bank account or whatever. Maybe it's something else. You look at, well, how are you assuming? What are your thoughts? Are you shutting down? Are you opening up? Are you making them guess? Or are you very clearly, elaborately letting them know what's going on and clarifying that message with them? Or if you're on the other side, are you getting curious and not assuming on your own part? Okay. Now it's your turn. Jump inside the workbook, read the info, learn from some more of my real life couples and clients, and enjoy, because you're going to take your marriage, your relationship to a greater level of ease and fun, less drama, less trauma. Totally. Have fun. I'll see you inside the workbook. Join me, at Dr. Liz Jenkins or at Relationships Renewed. Inside those groups, guys, I'm sharing more of this good stuff. So take care. I will talk to you later.